Welcome everybody to the Brokering Racing League. This is the GT3 Sprint Championship, Season 11, Round 4. As we see Scott Webber, a little spin there through Lacombs. We're in practice right now. We got 43 drivers on the grid so far, and a couple that have 43 counted. We're going to be at 46. All said and done here. That's a large grid for Spa-Francorchamps, the Art Force of Belgium. Beautiful track. It's been remastered, rescanned. This is going to be fun. Right now, Trey Mistek is leading the practice right now with the 217-1, and that list is going down. Not a lot of drivers in the 217s. There's only 11. P1 through P11 are in the 217s. Following that out is Nicholas Matza. And then in P18, Christopher Chitterling holds that down all the way down to P23 of Charles Whedon. P24 of Dylan Maroney is in the 219s. And that goes down to P36 in the 219s of Blake Patterson. Followed by Joseph Kennedy rounding us in the top there with the 220s at P37. All the way down into P42 of Jaiming Zien. And then Jeff Lubitsch is the only driver right now that's on the board that's in the 221s. But he actually hasn't put in that many laps. He's only has 7 laps in. A lot of these drivers have had practice of over 20 laps, 25 laps, 23, 13, 18. It's all a bit different. Some notable upsets that might shake up the things is we have 3 new teams that are joining us. Previously it was 5 teams, but these teams, a couple returnees and a couple new people. Eclipse Competition Yellow of Michael J. Costello and Titus Sherlock are joining us. They were in the last race. But a couple of the teammates were shaken up. Eclipse Competition Orange of Archie William and Justin Noel. Sorry. And then Joe Hidalgo and Jeremy Fairbairn of Eclipse Competition Red. And here we have Eric Neville and Alex Othen, teammates for the Pax Oceani Origami Pirates. They're joined by the Pax Oceani Racing Nomads of John Javecki and Christopher Daniel, who are also up there. I think Christopher Daniel's in P8, or P9, and John Javecki in 7th. So Pax Oceani drivers have holding out a few of those spots in the top 15 in the Backpacks Oceani of Joseph Kennedy and Blake. Oh, that's not right. JD Daniel and Matthew Baldwin. I was looking at something else there. BJ Works of Joseph Kennedy. BJ Race Works of Joseph Kennedy and Blake Patterson. Let's see where those drivers are at right now. There's Blake Patterson in P37 and his teammate right behind him in P38, and he's got that Cookie Monster BMW. This is going to be an extremely great race. We got 3 minutes to go in practice, and then we're going to go into qualifying. What could be said? I mean, we got a lot of fast drivers here at a 46. We have now 12 drivers that are in the top in the 217s. And almost there himself, Cody McElwain. We did a 218.006. It's not bad. I would have put him in the just a little bit different there. Oh. I think that's just him, not me. Ooh. Alex Othen doesn't have a rear wing. When did he lose it? After Blanchemont? Yeah. We're going to see a lot of drivers have this issue, and it is a very popular spot in Spa to lose the car, and end up in that wall. Unfortunate. And as I was talking about Eclipse Competition Yellow, there's Michael J. Costello, who's sitting in P32. Whoa. That is a trip to the pits. What's happening right there? Jamie Jen is doing donuts in the pit lane. And you're caught on 4K. Actually, it's 1080p, but what is this all about? Is his rear wing a propeller? Fascinating. He's still moving. What in the sky physics was that? Yeah, I'd like to know. That's different. Jay Smart, who I think this is his first race with us. I haven't seen this name before. Also, not even sporting the SimMotion entry requirements, but yeah, it's first race. Probably doesn't know. That's fine. No one get the pitchforks out just yet. He's pretty quick, 219.3, just behind Eric Koonsman and Andrew Gorstecki. That's how I drive to work. Ooh, well. Modified your car into a helicopter. I see. And that is practice over. We're going to be going over to qualifying. Alright, I think John Javecki is the first driver out. It looks to be the case. And what you can notice there is that's the Pax Oceani sister teams all coming out. In the background is Eric Neville and JD Daniel. 3 Pax Oceanis and Joseph Kennedy getting out of the way of these drivers. So it seems. So now all 3 of them are going to run together. And that's the Pax Oceani Origami Pirates and the Pax Oceani Racing Nomads. All those drivers are in that field. Although JD Daniel was there. So they have all 3 sister teams. 1 driver from each team. The Backpack Oceani. All 3 of them. That's an interesting tactic. They're not racing with their teammate, but their sister teammate. Or qualifying, I should say. It's an interesting strategy from the Pax Oceani gentlemen. And further back in that pack that's getting ready to qualify is Peter Flanner and his teammate. I don't know if I can see him. That's not his teammate. That's his sister teammate of Dylan Maroney. That's the Draft Punk Racing Silver. Thought that was Elliot Burton for a second. They look so similar. We do. One driver, as the other driver has failed to show up for his duties here, of the Bush's Big Penis, Jacob Simmons out there, reportedly not having a fun time with this Mustang. We'll see how he goes into into the race and into qualifying as we'll go on board. The classic Chris Lambeth skip, yep. John Javecki is the first driver to start a flying lap here. We'll see if he can keep it clean on this lap. It is very easy to go through Eau Rouge, Radion, lose it, get an off track. Something to note is a lot of the drivers were reporting not having a fun time going through No Name right here. And it didn't look like they were losing it on the exit there. Car steps out, especially through Pouan right here. If you get on the throttle too early, there's someone of Rafael Santos getting out of the way. Good on him for doing so. And so far, John Javecki has stayed within the lines there. No off tracks for him just yet. Oh, I shouldn't say just yet. On to Blanchemont. This is where, in practice and in the races previously, we've seen people step out that rear right here and very hooked up for John Javecki. He was in the top 10 in practice. Not sure if he was setting a qualifying lap, but a couple of drivers definitely did go for a hot lap. And still clean on the board. This is going to be a legitimate lap for him. This is a 2:17.7. That actually puts him at the top of the list, but how long though? JD Daniel overtakes him off of that, and so Andrew Korsecki comes through with the 2:18. Peter Flanner crossing the line goes and does a P1 right now. Where's that going to leave someone like Eric Neville, who, Titus Sherlock crosses the line and he goes to P4. He was fastest when he was the first driver to set like a qualifying lap, but he only goes to 4th. Jacob Simmons to 5. Trevor Bonesteel in 6. Alex Authen in 7. Andrew Korsecki pretty much remaining in the top 10 so far. That's a mid 218 though, and we know based on the stack there's 46 drivers on this grid. That is not going to keep you in the top 10. It's not going to even keep you in the top 15. Jay Smart crosses the line to go 218, almost even. Elliot Burton crosses the line just behind him by 10 thousandths of a second. Eric Neville is quick, and he's reportedly quick right now. I can say predictably that he's going to do a low 217 if he hooks this up. And Peter Flanner is still holding that top step right now with that 217.5. We've seen it go lower, and I'm on board. I think Eric Neville has something to respond to that top step. It is quite possible he does it. It looks like he might even do a 216. But, no, back to 217s we go. And Eric Neville just sets the fastest lap with a 217.294. I knew I was looking at someone with some speed. What a move for him. What a move. We'll go over and see another driver. Trey Mistak is in the pits. He is not going to set a time on the board. We know this of him. Michael J. Costello, the Eclipse Competition Yellow, has Titus Sherlock just in front of him there. Maybe they're going to try to get a little... get a little draft going for him from his teammate, quite possibly. They got Michael Scari. They're going to go side by side with through campus. Titus is on an out lap, and Michael Scari was not. But they got ahead. Now, I'm not even sure what... Michael is not on an outlap. He's predictably going to do a 2:18. Titus is, so Titus is probably trying to hook up right now. He's okay. He gets out of the way so his teammate can finish his lap, and then he's going to maybe try to help him a little bit on this next one. He's going to cross the line. We'll see where he goes. 2:18 is very promising. That's going to put you in the teens. Puts him to 19th, actually. John Javecki and Eric has overtaken Peter Flanner for that P2 spot. I think Elliot Burton is back out there and not on an outlap, so let's see what he can do. JD Daniel into La Source, going again, see what he can do. Christopher Daniel in P5. Titus Sherlock is the one also to look out for. Taking that top step is still up for grabs as we have 1 minute and 20 seconds left on qualifying. And where is this driver at? Oh, okay, we have Jay Smart through Bruxelles going into No Name. Ooh. A lot of people getting hit with that sand. And where's everyone else at? Elliot Burton is in the middle in Sector 2. Where's Peter Flanner is in Blanchimont, so he's the first to cross the line, and if he can find a couple that sounds like someone didn't have their settings, my audio settings, changed. And thank you, Cat Stack, for the resubscribe tier 1. It scared me for a second. Peter Flanner, across the line. Did he improve on his time? It does not look like it at this moment. Where's Titus Sherlock? He is in the bus stop. It looks like he's about to see himself 0.8 faster on this lap from what it looks like. Quite possibly. Is it true? He's P6 right now. Is it change? He goes to P2 with that one on the board. Jacob Simmons has a little bit more to go. Christopher Daniel already through a Rouge. JD Daniel crosses the line. Was that enough for him? No, it is not. Elliot Burton quite possibly crossed the line before the timer stopped, so he could be still going for this one. We have Christopher Chitterling in the pits. Andrew Korstecki's out there with Jacob Simmons still going. Austin McGill might be the first. Let's see. No, that's going to go to Tyler Anderson, who's sitting in P21 at the moment. I'm going to assume all of these drivers that are still out there have legitimate laps, or there's only a couple left. It looks like maybe the one in Sector 2 still isn't, but Tyler Anderson crosses the line. Is he going to go quicker? He sets the fastest lap with a 2:17.2. Wow. Jacob Simmons goes across the line. And what does he improve upon? He's got Andrew Korstecki. Andrew Korstecki leaps to P11 with that move. And that leaves just one driver that's still out there. Two drivers are still out there. Christopher Daniel and Elliot Burton. Still trying to make something happen. It looks like Elliot Burton truly has a remarkable lap in him right now. Hopefully he keeps that through the bus stop. Elliot Burton, who was P10, does he hold P10? does not improve upon that time. It's unfortunate for him. Tyler Anderson. I think this is the first time I've seen Tyler Anderson on the top step in qualifying, but what a remarkable one. Eric Neville in 2. Oh, and before I forget, this is the qualifying promo, everybody. 1 second. And we're back. That was brought to you by SimMotion, who sponsors the league. Going through the grid here, we have Nicholas Mazepin 16, Jeff Koppel in 17. You can see who P1 through 15 are. Shout out if they want me to say their name. But Jeff Koppel in 17, Chris Chitterling in 18, Chris Stewart in 19, Rodrigo Theory in 20, Austin McGill in 21, Michael J. Costello in 22, Eric Koonsman 23, Charles Weed in 24, Scott Weber in 25, Tyler Kern in 26, Michael O'Shins in 27, Justin Noel in 28, Kyle Howe in 29, Michael Scari in 30, Marshall Scari in 30, Terry Burks 31, Dylan Maroney 32, Cooper McCoy 33, Steve McAllister 34, Jamie Jen in 35, Eric Rodriguez 36, Blake Patterson 37, Joseph Kennedy 38, Giancarlo Minetti Schliemann in 39, Cody Ilwan in 40, McElwain, Trey Mistak in 41, Noah Hoskins in 42, Blake Nave in 43, Eddie A. Smith in 44, Matthew Bolden in 45, and Jeff Lubitsch in 46. That is it. That is a lot of Pax Oceani drivers that are in the top part of this grid. We'll get rid of that ticker there. Scramble this not back up. That's Eric Neville on row 1, John Javecki row 2, JD Daniel row 3 for the Pax Oceanis. See what they can do. And then Christopher Daniel just behind on the next row. Even slightly further back, you have Alex Othen, who hasn't been here for a couple races, but welcome back. Jacob Simmons of the Bush's Baked Venus, only driver, his teammate not here. Draft Punk Racing of Peter Flanner and Elliot Burton in the top 10. Really putting in those fast laps. The fastest team on the grid at the moment, I believe they're still up there in P1 on the team championship. So Pax Oceani Racing Opens with John Javecki and Christopher Daniel are going to have to put the screws to them. So we're about to take this live. I want a big crash in Eau Rouge, get us that safety car. Well, that is quite the statement that you want to have that. Just look at that grid, and there's still the drivers in the back that are trying to get closer. Some of these drivers are going to be going into the bus stop while the rest are going to be hauling down into the source. And Tyler Sherlock. Ooh, that is a Eric Neville on the kind of further back. That was a not sure what happened there. And they might almost slot in too wide through Eau Rouge, but it doesn't happen. Ooh, no! Oh, that is a Pax Oceani of Christopher Daniel making contact with another Pax Oceani driver, and that is, oh man, that is one of Elliot Burton, who is sitting in P10, out of contention right there. I don't know if that is enough. Further back, it may be. I don't see it happening. I don't think it collected enough people for that to be a safety car. And that is unfortunate. Back onto the start of this race here. We have Titus Sherlock, who's ahead by 1.8 seconds already. John Javecki back. And Eric Neville having to fight in contention with Peter Flanner there. So 1 position lost for Eric Neville, 2 for John Javecki gained. Peter Flanner 1 up. Oh no, that car is... There's 1 car limping its way through the field. That's unfortunate. I think that might be Elliot Burton. JD Daniel and Elliot Burton were the drivers who suffered the most off of that right there at the top of the Kemmel Straight. The start of it, I should say, but it looks like Tyler Anderson, Trent. Oh, that's actually the most surprising. Tyler Anderson's down 5 positions. Not sure how that happened at the start. I didn't even see him. He was P1. Oh, man. Looks like Christopher Daniel might be able to have a move here. Just gotta test my brakes real quick. Some interesting side note there. Christopher Daniel. No move there. Lacombe. But we have Nicholas Mazza being passed by Chris Stewart there. And Blake Patterson sitting in P32. Like he had a run on somebody for second, and not yet. Go over to another driver of Kyle Howe. There's P27. And Trey Mistak. Can you believe that? Trey Mistak's... Whoa! And he is going off track right there in Puan. Trey Mistak up 12 positions now since the start of this race. Only on lap 2. Putting it together. Going back, let's just see what happened here. Oh no, that was actually... Back at the race start, folks, we have Elliot Burton, who's just not even involved, but just taken out as a result of another issue. Yeah, that's... I don't even know what you can say after that one. That's unfortunate for him. And that is a completely broken car right there. And then Cody McElwain, who just completely... Oh, gosh, that's... Car 42, I'm not even sure who that driver is who's upside down, and that might be Cooper McCoy, who's also, that would be Eddie A. Smith, Cooper McCoy, Cody McElwain, all just carnage off that start. Kyle Howe, who, it's all this, but this is considered a crash for some reason. Austin McGill found the wall himself. Elliot Burton's back out. His car Oh no, it's damaged again. What can you do? Joseph Kennedy. Unfortunate for that driver as well. Back on board, Rafael Santos and Michael J. Costello are what seemingly look like they were bumper to bumper and then stuck together on lap 3. Rafael Santos only down 2 positions from where he started. P15. Eric Koonsman up a lot, so is Michael J. Costello. Already a lot of carnage on, and it's only been 3 laps now. That happened all on lap 1 and 2. A little bit of a gap forming from P16 to 15. That's 3 seconds. And there's Eric Koonsman, the Bean Assassin. They're in P18 in that McLaren. No response for Rafael Santos just yet. Is Jeff Koffel going to be able to do something? Up 8 positions from the start of this race. Not a lot of Ferraris out there on track, but he is one of them. Peter Flanner, Joseph Kennedy, and Elliot Burton all in the pits. So something happened to Peter Flanner during that as well? I don't know about that one. Oh. Goodbye. That driver. I mean, that was hard to see. Yeah, I think they just slightly came together there. A lot of drivers and a lot of death. Going back over to our the top of the grid here, we have Titus Sherlock, who's got a 2.2 second advantage over Eric Neville, and then John Javecki just behind 1.4. Jacob Simmons and the Busch Big Venus up into P4. He's up 4 positions from the start of this race. He's got Tyler Anderson right behind him, only 2/10 back. Then followed by Christopher Daniel, Jay Smart. Jay Smart's first race with us, I believe, and he is looking pretty quick. He's up 2 positions at the start of this race. Race pace was a 2:18.5, so he's only about actually it's 2:18.7 on the last one, so he's actually down 3/10 off of these drivers. That gap might form. He's got to put himself right back in alignment with the drivers ahead of him if he wants to get away from Jeff Koffel. But you can see that little bit of a gap forming. Somewhere on track, he's losing a little bit of time. He's got to gain that back. There's Tyler Anderson out. Ooh. He's going to get past a Christopher Daniel on the Kemmel Straight. Not much he can do about that at all. And Chris Stewart, who is back. I think he took a break on the last one. And he is in P11 with 8 positions gained. Really good result for him. He's got Christopher Tritterling just behind. Nicholas Mazza. It looks like they have the same livery-ish style, but that's not sure if they're a team. And I don't think anything more is going to come of this just yet. We'll go over to it. Jacob Simmons. who is sitting in P4. Andrew Korostecki is not racing anymore. It was rough. Were you involved in something? Ooh, yep. I called it. We're going to see a couple drivers go into that wall right there. The famous wall. It's definitely unfortunate. Charles Whedon, 1/10 back from Scott Webber, goes to the inside line. Maybe he's going to try to have a go here in the braking zone at the bus stop. And no go for him just yet. Trey Mistack. I didn't mean to curse you there, Andrew. I just said that it was going to happen. It's going to happen to somebody. The nameless person that could have been behind the wheel. Sorry to see it. I had been looking at practice and saw many people lose it after Blanchimont, and also the last time we were here at Spa, it was a notorious spot for people to really lose it. That's just unfortunate. That's how it goes sometimes. Trey Mistack hasn't made a move on any of these drivers. Just like, it's up 21 positions though. Go over to Chris Stewart. It's a little bit closer to Trevor Bonesteel this round. Trevor Bonesteel's at Porsche, that blue and blue stripe, gray. Already some retirements out of this one. 46 on the board, down to 34 at the moment. And Charles Whedon, who I keep seeing on the boards here, he's 1/10 separated from Scott Webber. On the last lap, he was about even with him in terms of race pace. Trey Mistack is 8/10 faster on his last lap to these drivers. Dylan Maroney coming in and getting closer to Trey Mistack. Really finding his pace right now. Ooh, look at that little snap right there. And that little snap is the thing that Trey needed. He might be able to pull off this move. It's gone. It's already out there. He's done it. And now what can Dylan Maroney do with all that momentum that Charles Whedon lost there? Can he make up a spot? Not just yet for this driver. Michael Scari not too far back right here from Terry Burks. They're fighting for P24. Further up we go, we have Christopher Daniel, who's now really close to Jacob Simmons. Look at the Venus himself. Not done just yet. He's going to follow him a little bit longer. Look for those mistakes. That's what we saw Trey Mistack gain. And look at it, he actually is a little bit closer right now. Is he close enough to make the move? It's got Tyler Anderson, who is creeping up back here, so he's going to want to get past Jacob Simmons, build a buffer. And further back, we have Nicholas Mazza. Christopher Stewart passed Trevor Bonesteel. So that move is down, but now is Nicholas Mazza going to be able to make anything happen? Christopher Chitterling is the driver behind there in the Mustang. Everything's still up for grabs with these drivers. Eric Koonsman further back on Charles Whedon. Ooh, and Dylan Maroney was able to make the move on Charles Whedon at some point, way before Pouon. So he's up some spots. And now Trey Mistack, who's got Scott Webber ahead of him. Oh, he's asleep. Oh, John Javecki just spun it. That is an unfortunate spin for him and Stavlo. And then, ooh, Rafael Santos hits him dead square. And Rafael is towing. Ooh. When it rains, it pours for Pax Oceani. The sister teams, the three teams, now have a few drivers out. That is out at the moment. I'm not sure if they're back out. The JD Daniel went back out. John Javecki is going to be a lap down, but is I think towing at the moment. So, but not great. Not great. I'm not even sure exactly what happened on that that opening one. And at some point, Trey Mistak did pass Scott Weber. He's gone ahead of Jay Smart, now getting passed by Trevor Bonesteel. And I think Chris Chitterling's going to also get by him. Into Puon. He's got the inside line. And there he goes. It's a couple positions lost for Jay Smart. Wondering if he had some type of issue and like spun maybe, because he was sitting pretty strong in the top 10 and now he's dropped down to 11. And this is definitely one of those like carnage races. I've never seen so much, so many accidents since the rescan. People have said there's different things happening on the track at different points. Confidence level has dropped for some of the drivers during practice on getting the power down. And the safety car isn't even enabled. Yeah, well, that's... I think the safety car truly has to have like a pileup of at least like 5 or 6 cars before it would be called out. And at some point in the race, the safety car just goes away and it won't issue one, even if the grid was to collapse on itself. It's not on for Spa. Oh, there you go. It's not on for Spa. We don't run it on long tracks. That's very true. I mean, it'd be a long one. Austin McGill is, I don't think, going to continue. He's P35 at the moment. Rodrigo Theory up there in P12. I believe this is going to be a standings AM class win. No, actually, sorry. Kevin Millard is in P7 right now. And what a fantastic result for him. He's P2 in the standings. And this could sweep up an AM win for him. He's got, you know, a gaggle of cars behind him before he gets to Rodrigo Theory, who's in P12. So as long as he just keeps that together, I think that's going to be a really strong result for himself right there. Michael Scari, still no change from these two drivers. They're up plenty of positions. 10 for Terry Burks, and Marshall Scari has 8 himself, but they have been kind of just on similar pace. They're rounding out the same lap times, lap by lap. They're up to P21 and 22, but they were battling for P24. You know, circumstances have changed on the track, and people have died catastrophically in this race. And here's Austin McGill, who loses it through no name. You can see ahead of him is Rafael Santos, who's also towing, but he gets back out there. That shouldn't be that big of a deal, but ooh, that is a big deal. That car is not straight. I think he's... You can see that right rear is inward. And, oh no, what do we have here? John Jafecki loses it. That was the one earlier. That was way earlier. We're good. I thought there was a new event. Oh, you know what? I did find it. So Jay Smart was running... Ooh. No, he loses it after he's already been passed by those guys. And then there goes Rodrigo Theory through. And he's kept it together, though, since that mistake. It's now down to P13. He's got Justin Noel and 1.9 back. I mean, what a sensational result there for these drivers ahead. Justin Noel up 14 positions. Trey Mistak up 25 positions. In P15 at the moment. The difference here, if I go on board here, compare the laps of Trey Mistak to Justin Noel. The best lap that Trey did was a 2:18 even. Justin Noel's was a 2:19. And just before Blanchimont, he goes for it and sends it down the inside line. Gets the move done. That's 26 positions gained now. Tyler Anderson goes into the pits. So lap 11 and 20, he's going to be the first driver in the, I would say, that's still out there besides Steve McAllister. Steve McAllister's stint is he just went in for fuel and now he's back out. It was 36.2 for him. No one else has gone into pit lane just yet. What can Tyler Anderson do here? That's a 32.9. And he's going to come out in P18 off of that. Trevor Bonesteel, Chris Chitterling, Chris Stewart, I should say, as well in there. The Battle of the Chris's, but not the only Battle of the Chris's. Christopher Daniels up there, even further up in P4. And Trevor Bonesteel looking a little... peeking out the inside line, maybe trying to make the driver have a mistake, but he's got Chris Stewart ahead of him. Chris Stewart's a very level guy. I don't think he's going to respond to the old fake down the inside line juke before the braking zone. Oh, no. Something happened for Tyler Anderson here. Bruxville's... it's unfortunate. That is going to really deter, that's not going to really go well for him in terms of, he had pit, first driver to pit. These drivers are going to go into lap 12. We'll see what happens out of them. Titus Sherlock is the first one. New bus stop. Is he going to pit? He goes to pit. Eric Neville takes the lead of this race. Jacob Simmons does not pit. Christopher Daniel doesn't pit. Jeff Koffold does not go into pit. Kevin Millard goes to pit. This could be Rodrigo Theory's chance here. He stays out, so the overcut has to work for him. Kevin Millard is the AM class leader, but he is no longer the leader with Rodrigo going through and taking that at the moment. He's going to have to go in and pit, so he's got to hope that the overcut works in his favor. And we won't know until we see a positive result of that just right now. Tyler Sherlock comes out in what could be P11, P10. He's ahead of Charles Whedon, so it is going to be P10. And is Charles going to have a run at him into the Kemmel Straight? And that was a 36.9. Remember, Tyler Anderson's was a 32.9. That was actually a really efficient lap done by Tyler Anderson. And he's back there, and he passes Kevin Millard. Kevin R. Millard, I should say. Down the Kemmel Straight. Now another driver, Blake Patterson, has not gone into the pits just yet. Other drivers, P1 through P9, have not gone into the pit lane just yet. Dylan Maroney up 20 positions at the start of this race. It's a very extreme amount so far. I mean, it might be the most on the board at this moment. Trey Misek has gone into the pit lane, so he's back out there. It's only 20, but he's going to regain some of those positions back. And still, this driver has not, even though he got passed, he has not let this deter him. He's still pushing, and he's still close to Tyler Anderson here. Got it back over to Chris Schitterling, who might have something to do here with the Trevor Bones deal. No, they're both going in the pit lane. So now that that's going to be settling, Rodrigo Theory goes into the pit lane. Where does that leave Kevin Millard? He is going through Blanchamont. And that is going to be the difference. Where is Titus? Titus is crossing the line. And there he goes, sweeping all those positions back. And Jacob Simmons might actually inherit the race leadership. Wow. That is an unfortunate result for Titus, who did have a strong lead. Gets ahead of Christopher Daniel. At least gets that done. But look at Jacob Simmons, a 33.9. The difference from him was just enough. Jacob Simmons is now the race leader on lap 13 of 20. Fantastic result for the overcut for him. Titus not so much. His pit early strategy a lap earlier did not work out for him in this case, but he's still P2. He could fight back anytime. Rodrigo Theory is actually back into P13, out with a 36.4. Kevin Millard back into P8, just behind Tyler Anderson. So did not work in Rodrigo's theory. I don't think I'm going to be hearing from him in this post-race interview, but if Kevin Millard is going to join me for the AM class, that would be cool. Just to hear what that is. It's going to be a fantastic result for him. His first win as an AM class leader, as long as he keeps this together. Shouldn't say it like that. But we'll go over to Jeff Lubitsch. He's up 19 positions. Kyle House battling him out here through Holmes. And they're still going to go side by side into Bruxelles. Hopefully he gets the move down before No Name, because that is going to be... Ooh, they are really close. And it is not over just yet for P23. Holding it down in P24 right now. And the switchback was done. There it goes through Jeff Lubitsch, and he's going to stay ahead for P24 in that Costco livery. I'm not even sure what that is. It just says Costco Kirkland. It's Costco Whole Foods. Wholesale. Whole Foods? Wholesale? Yeah, wholesale. I think it's wholesale. Charles Whedon goes into the pit lane. It's going to drop him down. He was one of the last drivers to not go in. We'll see where he ends up on that one. Tyler Anderson, who was P1 at the start of this race. Not entirely sure what happened at that race start, but he lost it right away. Goes ahead, makes the move before having to brake, and he's got Jeff Koffel down. And through he goes. Ooh, Jacob Simmons, what's happening here? He's gonna get past Tyler Anderson. The inside. This driver was the race leader. Oh, just loses it. Whitcomb, that's 1, 2, 3, down into 4, and now into 5. A brilliant move on his pit strategy. Undone on lap 14. Now we have Jeff Koffel, who might try to have a go at him. It's close enough. 110 separating him. We've seen people pass at the bus stop. It's very solid through Blanchimont, and he's really holding it in. Is he going to even go defensive? No, he's not even defensive. He's taking the optimal line in the bus stop and not worrying about defending. Is he going to have to defend into La Source? He kind of lost a little bit of time there. Here's the battle for P1. Does Christopher Daniel have it? The McLaren versus the Mercedes. Eclipse competition drivers were holding out strong in Sonoma, and incidents occurred. Could this be the race win for Titus Sherlock here? He's got to hold it together. He's got another group, the Pax Oceani drivers, repping 3 teams as well as Eclipse competition. See between the 2 different teams, I guess groups of teams, which one of them is going to be on the top step in this race. We've seen Pax Oceani on top step before. Sorry, it's quite the yawn. Not that this is boring. It's a lot of things have happened out on track so far. That 3/10 gap hasn't really shrank in the parts that matter. Maybe here it's gonna one of the closest battles out on track at the moment is the fight for P1 and 2, as Eric Neville in P3 just sets the fastest lap with a 2:17.5. Always a beautiful ride up this beautiful track through Eau Rouge into Radion, and down Campbell Straight we go. He is more defensive this go around. That is not taking chances. He was really close on the exit. Eric has the doesn't have a car in front of him that he's having to pass right now. I think he's also 1.5 seconds back. Well, he is faster. He's going to catch up and then struggle, as we see Christopher Daniel is right now trying to find where he can make this car fit to pass Titus Sherlock by. And there you see Eric Neville of the Pax Oceani Origami Pirates. His teammate Alex Offen, who is crashed out, I believe, or is just maybe not crashed out, but is no longer participating in this race. It's gonna be a DNF for his teammate, but his sister teammate of Christopher Daniel and the Pax Oceani Racing Nomads is right behind, is right there in front. And really coming together. We have 4 laps to go, and Eric Neville has dropped that 1.5 second gap down to 1.2, 1.1. He may be able to use his sister teammate here in this battle. That is smoke is alarming. There is carbon fiber on the left side of the track. And he wasn't defensive this go around, Titus, so not too worried about it on the Kemmel Straight, but anywhere else, maybe Bruxelles. Yeah, definitely making that move on the inside line. Really can't pass that no name here. People have been passing at Puon though, and it has worked for some, but he's 3/10 back. I don't know if it's going to be this go around that this happens. And that 1.5 down to now 1.2 is now 0.9. Eric Neville is in the fight. Ooh, it's Eric Rodriguez being very safe and getting out of the way there. That must have done something. Eric Neville is now back 1.5 seconds again. It's unfortunate. And if he was just a little closer, maybe he could throw it in a little bit and try to pass him through the bus stop, but not there. And I have yet to see anyone pass at La Source except on the opening lap, I believe. That's where some people were able to make something happen. It was a very tight grid. All 46 drivers down to 31. There's a lot of carnage this go around. Now he's 2/10 separated. Still towards the middle, slightly defensive. Now he's going to go completely defensive. Ooh, Christopher Daniel looks like he almost had something accelerating towards going too wide there, but it is not there. And with 3 laps to go, the grid has really kind of spaced apart through these 20 laps. There's no real other battles that I could pull to that are this close together. Eric Neville back to 0.6 tenths away from Christopher Daniel. Now really in the fight with 3 laps to go. Going to be going down to 2 as they approach Blanchimont and into the bus stop. We will see whether or not the Pax Oceani sister teammates can help each other and get past Titus in some manner. It is anyone's guess at the moment. Eric Neville, who was sporting those 2:17.5s, 2:17.7s. Last lap was a 2:18.4, just on par with his sister teammate of Christopher Daniel. But Titus Sherlock did that 2:18.2. And even though Titus had a slower than average pit stop, which wasn't that slower because you can see other drivers doing 34s, 33s, 32s, 36s. Right there at the top, though, a 36.9 is really slow in comparison. That's where a few drivers were able to jump him, but he got those positions back. Fortunate for Jacob Simmons, but he is still sitting in P5, so he hasn't lost out there. After his mistake, he's there in the background there, and looks like he wanted to fake a move, or maybe try to go for one, but didn't make it happen there. And even closer, Eric Neville comes in to play. Now only 4 tenths back. This is going to be the longest 2 laps of Titus Sherlock's life, as he's got 2 sister teams who have helped each other. Maybe not on the track in general, but like in terms of they are talking to each other. They're communicating, so they know how to work with each other and help each other. Let some guys pass if they think they're faster. So all those things are going on in that Discord for those drivers. But Pax are looking at a 2-3 finish at the moment. Different teams, though. These are the Pax Oceani Racing Nomads of Christopher Daniel and Pax Oceani Origami Pirates of Eric Neville. And again, 4 tenths back. It's not going to be enough. The exit of Blanchimont to try to get past. And look at that. There's the move. Eric Neville goes through on Christopher Daniel. And like I said, there could be a call between these 2 drivers. I mean, they're already communicating to say, hey, I think I'm faster. Can you let me by and chase him down? This is the final lap. And Titus Sherlock is ahead. And it does look deliberate to where he let him by so that he could make a move, try to get something happening here. That is teamwork. Sister teamwork. Now over to Eric Neville, who's not close. Not as close as Christopher Daniel was on those last couple laps. On the final lap, 4 tenths back. Trying to break the toe a little bit. Titus Sherlock knows what he's doing here. And Titus Sherlock's best lap was half a second slower than Eric Neville's best lap in race pace. Not on the last lap, but overall. Ooh! Yikes! And through goes Christopher Daniel. His chance, he was just right there on the bleeding edge, and Eric Neville saved it, but did lose it slightly through No Name. On Blake Patterson, goes through P19 and P18, and Blake goes. Kyle Houck makes the move. That move is done. We'll go back over to Titus Sherlock, who's now ahead of the Pax Oceani drivers by 1.4 back. Quite reminiscent of the start of this race. He was 1.5 seconds up in the first lap. Well, no one can say he wasn't trying. Good effort. It was a very good effort. He did try, and that is going to be the race win for Titus Sherlock of Eclipse Competition Yellow. Christopher Daniel into P2. Oh, and then, yeah, Eric Neville in P3, Tyler Anderson P4, Jacob Simmons in 5, Jeff Koffold in 6, Kevin Millard in 7. He's going to take the AM class win. Chris Stewart in 8, Chris Schurtling in 9, Trevor Bonesteel in 10, Trevor Mistak in 11. That's third. 29 positions gained for Trey Mistak in that race. Nicholas Massa in 12, Rodrigo Theory in 13, Justin Noel in 14 here, and Dylan Maroney was battling a little bit with Eric Koonsman, I think, at one point, but then it's going to shear up, and Dylan Maroney, as long as he keeps this good, sticky on the exit, he's gone through. He takes P15, Eric Koonsman in 16, Scott Weber in 17, Tyler Kern in 18. Kyle Howe, who got past Blake Patterson, is going to inherit P19 right here as he crosses the line. Blake Patterson in 20. Terry Burks up 10 positions at the start of this race. He goes to P21 here with Michael Oceans behind him. And look at that. Michael Ascari goes through on Jeff Lubitsch, and he takes him through the bus stop on that. That's going to be 23 for him. Something like that. Yeah, 23 for him. Jeff Lubitsch in 24. Cody McElwain in 25. JD Daniel, who did not quit after an incident at the start of this race. He comes to finish across the line in P26. Good effort from him from recovering and going back out there. It can be demoralizing, an incident at the start of the race and not wanting to do it, but he's stuck it out there. Way to go, Pax Oceani. Steve McAllister in 27. Jamin Jen in 28. Eric Rodriguez 29. Jay Smart in so Eric Rodriguez in 29. Jay Smart in 30. And then that is where it kind of ends. 2 laps down for those drivers. Charles Whedon in 31. And then every other driver after that is out of this race by, 8 laps, 13 laps, 16 laps. Just stopped it right off the start. Good result for everybody. Let me see here. And I got... Congratulations, Titus Sherlock. Eclipse Competition Yellow. You guys joined us last week. I know you had a really strong pace in that race. But, you also had a strong pace this race. What was it about your pit stop that didn't go right for you?
Yeah, well, last weekend just got intent wrecked when I was leading, which was unfortunate. And then this race, yeah, I don't feel like I was the strongest out of the front runners in terms of pace, but I had a good start and I got a decent lead after lap 1 and just kind of managed it and tried to cut it close on fuel and got a decent stop going and didn't make too many mistakes, so was able to win this one. So thank you to the whole Eclipse team and the admins for putting on the series and giving us a second chance after the mess we had last week. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I wanted to say you did have a really good start though. You actually had it at like 1.5 seconds right after the start, like lap 2. You're really ahead. I know you said you didn't quite have the pace, but you did show it in the race. I mean, there's a couple drivers that were quicker on race pace at some point and were pumping in some fast laps behind you. Was there any deliberate moves that you were making so you could stay ahead of Christopher Daniel, who was really just on your rear that entire last 4 or 5 laps?
Yeah, I was just really trying not to make mistakes. I felt like my tires were just completely gone. I felt like I was sliding around everywhere, but just tried to hit every single apex. And I knew if I made one mistake or dropped a wheel or missed an apex, I would lose the win. I wouldn't have the pace to get back by him. So just did my best to not make any mistakes. And I
Absolutely.
think I did pretty well with that. And then I think I saw him make a mistake in the last lap, so I ended up winning kind of comfortably. But yeah, it was super close.
And not only that, but one last question for you. Were you surprised by seeing Jacob Simmons pass you in the pit lane? Because it looked like you had a very good lead from the rest of the drivers on the grid, and Jacob Simmons was only in P4, so he was able to get you for that undercut.
Yeah, I was a little confused when that happened. I wasn't sure how he got such a big undercut on me, but he did end up making a mistake, and I got back by him. And
Hmm.
yeah, Eric Neville was the guy I was kind of focusing on. I ended up pulling, I think, around 4 seconds in the pit stop from him. So I'm not sure if he took tires or more fuel or what that was, but yeah, I think we executed everything pretty well and got the win. So
Yeah,
pretty happy.
fantastic result. Hey, welcome to the league. Couldn't say that last week. I thought you guys were doing really well. That's behind us, but yeah, congratulations. Firstly, your first league win, and can't wait to see what you do next one.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
I'm just going to bring you both in at the same time because it's Pax Oceani's sister teammates here of Christopher Daniel and Eric Neville. First off, it's a shame what happened to your other drivers. I saw that right at the start of the race, and I'm not entirely sure what happened. Just briefly see someone's rear was a little slippery, and then things went sideways. But what a fantastic result for you guys, both of you, truly. Was the first question I had was, Chris, Eric, did you have a conversation to let Eric by on those last laps?
Right at there, the very end of that, whatever lap it was, 2 to go. I looked down and my fuel calculator was in the red, so I made a decision to let him by so I could not impede his race.
Okay, so it was a fuel issue thing.
For me, yeah. Well, he had pace too. I mean, he definitely had pace. Actually, the whole team had pace over me this week. I just haven't been really that good at Spa. But yeah, when I saw he was clicking off laps there at the end of the race, anywhere between 3 and 4 tenths faster than me, I knew he was catching me. It was inevitable. So I thought, well, I won't fight him and I'll let him by.
I get you. Eric, you did have some extreme pace there. I mean, it was crazy to see. It's towards the end of the race, and you put in a 2:17.5. Were you trying really hard there to just really try to get caught up with those two drivers and maybe get something happening?
Yeah, so I accidentally took 4 tires, so I came out of the pits instead of right up there in the fight. I came out in fourth or fifth, so I had to just
Oh,
push as hard as I could.
oh, gotcha. So you had the rubber to come fighting. I see. That's what
I
would
did,
happen. Yeah,
yeah.
it's got to be different. You guys inherited a couple good spots there right off the start. Incidents occur, but it's kind of a fantastic result. When you guys go watch this back, you guys were the closest pairing in on the grid as far as last couple laps or anything. The race pace really shows where people are at, and it shows that you two were with the leader as well as Titus. Like you guys were glued to each other. You're within, like 2 tenths from the leader at some points, Chris. I was hoping to see you make a move. It looked like you were trying to at some points, but did you just is there? Did you just not be able to have a gap? Did you not find something?
Yeah, I just need to work on racecraft. That's all it boils down to, honestly. Titus did a great job defending and using his car as a tool, and
Yeah,
yeah, kudos to him. He did a great job. I
he
think
did.
all the drivers
Yeah,
did really.
he did make it wide, and he did make it difficult for you. And you know, other drivers, I was seeing like one mistake is how people were inheriting some spots, whether it was a mistake exiting, and then you're gonna get them throughout that next cornering that's happening. But yeah, it is difficult. Difficult. Was there anything that you guys talked with each other about, just the encouragement towards the last couple laps? I mean, you really put this pressure on that driver, and it really showed. Was thinking nothing but no mistakes, no mistakes. He knew you guys were there. You definitely showed that you were there. It's fantastic to watch, by the way.
Yeah, appreciate it. We weren't really talking that much. As a matter of fact, I was thinking to myself, it's been extremely quiet. Um, right up there until 2 laps to go when I told Eric to pass me because which probably caught him by surprise as well because we were so quiet. But yeah, we kind of had a rough night. The team overall, we had some misfortune out there, and I think from there it was just try to get as many points as we could.
Gotcha. Yeah, when darkness hits the sister teams all at once, that definitely probably sours the air and the mood and everything like that. But I mean, great results for your individual teams, the Origami Pirates and the Racing Nomads. Can't wait to see what you guys do next time. And I know one of the coolest things though is that you guys say you're slow, but I mean, still, all of you guys within the top 15 on qualifying. I think Alex Othen might have been in 16 or 17. I forget exactly where he was at, but I mean, what a result! Just have all your drivers up there, not that slow, being in the top 15.
Yeah, pace is relative, right? But yeah, I appreciate the kind words. These guys put in a lot of work, and that's what it takes to run well, is a dedicated team to practice and to share setups and share tips. I mean, up until the green flag for qualifying, everyone was talking, what minor setup changes we can do, and so that's just what keeps our team getting better, and we'll push on for the better result.
Yeah, congratulations again. I can't wait to see you guys do next week. I mean, seeing all those Pax Oceanis and me being able to finally say the words themselves really helps out support you guys. You had a lot of support in the chat as well, so thank you. Thanks. And congratulations on 2 and 3 there.
Yep, appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jason.
Yep.
Bye.
Well, Rodrigo, you're here, but I will say, I mean, I guess the other driver doesn't want to show up, but you did get beat. You're in P2 in the AM, but you did show up.
Who ended up winning?
It was Kevin Millard.
Oh man, I never even saw him.
He was ahead of.
Yeah,
he was
flying.
He was ahead of you. He was flying. I'm not sure where this all came together for him, but I was focusing on it at some point in the race where I was showing you in P12 at the time, and then you opted to stay out. I think 2 more laps and then went into the pits, and whereas Kevin went in quick. It looked like the undercut was the main advantage there. So it's difficult to say, but congratulations on the P2 finish in the AM class there. It's still going to keep you ahead with some good haul of points to him, but he's now going to be closer to you, by the way. That's going to split the net difference, and there is a drop week, which he's probably going to do on the first one since he didn't get any points in that first race. But he was only 50 points behind you on the last race and 40 points behind you on the race before that. So we'll see a little bit of a difference happen. The real battle for the AM class win is now on the table. Yeah, I mean, can't wait to see what happens with that there, Rodrigo.
No, yeah. I mean, if he did this well in this track, it's definitely a very fast driver. This was not an easy one. A lot of people had moments. A lot of people kept spinning out. Even my Draft Punk Gold didn't have a good time there. We lost both members on that one. And that was a rough.
Yeah, that was a rough start.
Few minutes there.
Yeah, that was a really rough start. You really hate to see it. I know that Elliot Burton was collateral in that one, just based on what I was able to observe. He was another car was hit him, and there's almost nothing you could do in that instance. I'm not sure what happened to Peter Flanner.
So from what I remember, he was taking, I think, the first corner, and I believe he touched the inside wall and just broke the wheel, and I think that pretty much ruined his car, and he couldn't go through.
So
the rest of the track.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I did not see that part, but excellent result for you and Dylan Maroney. Draft Punk Racing Silver getting 13 and 15.
Yeah,
he was complaining about
really
his practice, but it looks like his overall performance in the race shows, as well as your own. Can't wait to see what you can do in the next race against Kevin Millard, because now you have some real competition for that AM class. Not that you didn't
Yeah,
before, but
should be good.
you have someone that's really right there on the heels.
Mhm.
Going to give you a run for your money.
Yeah, hopefully. This was quite a track of survivability. So hopefully we can keep surviving the next few instances of the next few tracks.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining me, Rodrigo, and again, congrats on the P2 and the AM class. I hope to see that you can make it through P1 on the overall. We still got a couple more rounds left to go. I wish the best to you, man.
Alrighty. Thank you, Jason. Have a good one.
Cheers. And with that said, everybody, just rounding it out, that was Charles Whedon in 31, 32 is Eddie A. Smith, and then so forth. You can see him, John Javecki, Cooper McCoy. Then all of those drivers are out. Michael J. Costello, Austin McGill, Andrew Gorstecki, Peter Flanner. And then further down the line, you had Joseph Kennedy, Elliot Burton, Noah Hoskinson, Giancarlo Manetti Schliemann, Blake Nave, and Matthew Baldwin. All unfortunate incidents that occurred. That said, can't wait to see you guys all next week. Next Sunday, same time for the next round. Be round 5. And see what can happen with the AM Class Championship, which is now in a heated battle there for Rodrigo Theory and Kevin Millard, who finished ahead of him in P7. Held his own there, Kevin Millard, on Chris Stewart and Jeff Koffold around him. Thank you, everybody that joined. And thank you, Blake Patterson, for the follow. And everybody have a good evening.